So as a precursor, some of y'all have already heard, I felt a little bit kind of a way about this story because I tried to share it on Facebook in a group that actually said it was about missing people. So I thought, okay, we have a story about missing children and maybe they will accept this, post it in there and allow people that want to see the story, they can go check it out. They can come listen. Maybe somebody might be able to find these missing children. But for some strange reason, that Facebook group decided to decline my post. I don't know if it was because it was a Facebook Live, or YouTube Live. I don't know if it was because they felt like I'm just promoting. But I would think that if the topic is missing children and your group is about missing people, I would think that you would want to bring all of those stories in and just line them up and let people see the stories so that way we can maybe get some justice, maybe get some help, maybe see something and say something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But with this story out of Cypress, Texas, Texas is taking yet another L. I am tired of Texas taking all of these L's, but it's necessary until we get some change out here in these damn streets, okay? Now, I need to let you guys know, if you've never been here before, that some of you might find my content controversial or offensive. My information is coming from the website abc7chicago.com, so thank you for the article. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of the story. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. I'm going to have some choice words about some of these individuals, especially this individual who look like a thug, dress like a thug, and got tattoos like a thug, right? This story is absolutely insane. And a bare bone Amber Alert issued in Houston turned into an interstate search for 5 children and 3 adults. And now the mother and her boyfriend have been charged after they were found in Louisiana. So it sounds like they ran. Deputies with the Harris County Precinct 5 Constable's Office elaborated on the alert concerning 5 children who, along with 3 adult members of their family, disappeared at 5:30 a.m. Late Monday, a set of 16-year-old twins. Now, granted, they're a little bit older. I think the fact that they're older actually played to their advantage because they were actually able to escape. And that's why I've always said that we need to look out for our babies because they can't speak for themselves nor defend themselves. And that's why it could be a good thing once these children get bigger and older, 14, 15, 16. Now they can speak for themselves a little bit. And now they can start to fight back a little bit more. So thank goodness for this. 16-year-old twins told deputies that they had escaped their home when they were allegedly handcuffed, according to the constable's office spokesperson, Jeff McShann. McShann said the twins, a boy and a girl, ran until they found someone to help them call police. So thank goodness for that. The twins told police that they didn't know their home's address because they haven't lived there long and allegedly hadn't been outside recently. That sounds like kidnapping to me, in a sense, or false imprisonment. I think that's the proper term, false imprisonment. The twins told police that they didn't know their home address at 16 years old. That's pretty telling. The constable's office said by the time deputies located the house, their 5 siblings were gone with their mother. Let me see if I can get their biological mother up on the screen. And don't let the smooth taste fool you. She's got a cute face, but she is a devil in disguise. Her name is Zakia Duncan, 40 years old. I crack a lot of jokes about people looking older than their actual age. I wouldn't have guessed that she's 40 years old because I'm pretty much 40 years old. That's her on the left-hand side of the screen. 40? I don't know, man. But she just got like a ton of Maybelline on and makeup. I don't know. And her boyfriend, and y'all ain't gonna believe this, her boyfriend, who was described as their stepfather, Jova Terrell, Let me see if I can get his name up here so y'all can see how it's spelled, which is that individual. We'll get back to those pictures in a moment. Jova, kind of like Java, Java, so Jova Terrell. And he is 27 years old. And you'd have to ask, what in the hell is a 27-year-old doing with a 40-year-old? A 40-year-old with 5 kids. A 40-year-old with 5 kids. Now, I'm not going to let this alleged stepfather off the hook. But before we get to going out on him, let's talk about this alleged mother who has children whose ages are 7 years old, a boy, 10 years old, a boy, 12 years old, a boy, 12 years old, a boy, and 14 years old, a boy. What? I thought they said there was a girl in here somewhere. They said, the McShann said that the twins, a boy and a girl, ran until they found someone. So I'm assuming one of those 12-year-old, no? A set of 16-year-old twins. What? How many kids does she have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did she have 7 kids? Wow. Oh, wow. Unless I'm reading this wrong. So, again, 7-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old. So it sounds like she had 2 sets of twins. That would make 7 kids. Y'all go and look at the article, abc7chicago.com. Look it up yourself and tell me if I'm missing something. That sounds like 7 kids at 40 years old. So here's what I also want you to think about. Even the second to youngest child at 10 years old would still damn near make that this alleged stepfather too young to be the father of. That would have made him almost 16 years old at the time when this kid was born. The second to youngest. What about the one right after that, the 2 middle kids at 12 years old? That would have made him 15. I try to be real careful in situations where I say, grown people and the age gap should be within a certain range. Now, once you're grown, you do what you do. It's really a subjective thing. I'm being subjective here. I think it's weird. I think it's wrong just because the kids are in such close proximity to him. I think 11 years difference between her 2 oldest kids. And what the hell does it? And personally, I don't think men, and here's why I got to get on the men. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think that men should be fathers under the age of 30 years old. Let alone this fucking fool. Those are on his Facebook. Some of those pictures are old, but you can see he has a stupid mentality. I think anybody who takes pictures throwing up the middle finger are stupid people. Do you know some stupid people out there? Or some of you out there listening do this type of stupid thing? I think anybody who flips off the camera is just saying, screw whoever's looking at the picture. I just think it's weird. It's just my personal preference. But again, I don't think that any man under the age of 30 years old should be a father, should be getting any woman pregnant. I could even point the finger at myself and say that maybe I could have been a better father if I would have had kids after the age of 30. At 24, I did all right. We kind of crawled across the finish line. We did all right. I got 3 more years until my daughter is grown. We did all right. But could I have done better by my daughter if I would have waited 6 years? Financially, spiritually, emotionally? I think so. That's a rule in general. Test it out. Stop having babies by these young damn idiots who don't even clean their ass right, who don't have a sensible source of income. Let's go back and look at this. I ain't even read the damn story yet. I'm getting so mad. Look at this dude with this mismatched colored hair, these long dreads, tattoos all over the place, throwing up middle fingers and all of that stuff in the camera. I'm sorry, to judge a book by its cover, y'all can kiss my behind where the sun don't shine. I think that's the same thing, but whatever. But what do y'all think that this dude does for a living? I don't care if y'all don't like that I judge a book by its cover. What do y'all think he does for a living? I mean, what do y'all think? You think he owns a construction company? Do you think he does construction? Maybe some welding? You think he fixes cars? What does he look like he does for a living? You know what he look like he does for a living? Screw older chicks that are much older than him, that are in desperate situations. They got way too many kids that she can afford to take care of. So she'll sleep with anybody and everybody that'll accept her and her 7 kids. Like that fool. Like he just looked desperate. Like, don't he just look lost in the eyeballs? You can just look in his eyes. Like his eyes are kind of like where the eyes should be here. But his eyes are like here and then they're like slanted. Like he's got like those molasses eyes. He got those slow people's eyes. I bet you that boy can barely spell his own name. Anyway, let's keep going. 5 kids are missing. 2 16-year-old twins got away. The 5 children were last seen in the Cypress area near Fry Road when the Amber Alert was issued. Duncan and Terrell are in the process of being charged with injury to a child and are being brought back to Harris County on Tuesday, according to the constable's office. Got a lot more to talk about. Now, according to ABC affiliate WBRZ, Duncan and Terrell were stopped in a silver Mitsubishi Outlander, which is the thing they were looking for right there. They ended up finding it at about 4:30 p.m. in Baton Rouge. So if y'all know how far Houston is from Baton Rouge, they were gone. They were gone. That's a good little distance. It's not super far. So if it took me, let me see. So it's about 4.5 hours from Houston. No, about 4 hours, 4.5 hours from Houston to Baton Rouge, because I've driven that route before. It's about 4.5 hours. So they were gone. But they were found. When the 2 suspects were captured, they only had 1 child with them out of the 5 that were missing. Duncan and Terrell told investigators that they dropped the other children off at a relative's house in Louisiana. Which I hope that's what happened. McShann confirmed that the remaining children were in fact at a relative's home in Louisiana and said Child Protective Services have been contacted. The twins are in CPS custody and currently in the hospital after deputies described them having bruises and appeared malnourished. Please understand that they said that they appeared malnourished at age 16 years old. Damn near at working age. Damn near at the age where you could damn near be going out to go get a job and go work and make money for yourself. And at least at the age where you know they're going to school, at high school, maybe even if they don't have a lot of money, they'd at least be able to get school lunch, school breakfast. At least 2 meals a day, even if they don't eat anything when they get home. But let me tell y'all why I find that even more strange. That they were being starved allegedly, because I think they had money. Let me show you why I think they had money. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm judging the book wrong again by its cover. But I want y'all to take a look at this big ass house. This house is bigger than the average house. Okay? I can't tell how many bedrooms this is, But I can tell y'all, I've been to Houston, I've been to Baton Rouge, I've been all up and through Texas, and this is an above average house. Now, granted, this woman, unless this woman has a bunch of children by celebrity basketball players, which I wouldn't doubt, maybe that's how she was able to collect this with a shit ton of child support. But that is an above average house. I have no idea what this woman does for a living. I don't know what governor that she's probably gobbling cock on. Sorry. I had to do it. I'm sorry. Somebody is paying this woman for her goods and services. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What do y'all think that she does for a living? I can tell y'all that dude... Look, y'all better stop laughing at me now, okay? That dude didn't look like he had a job that would take care of this type of house at 27 years old. She's 40. I mean, like what does she own? Like she owns like an ebony store or something? I don't know. She has to own some type of big business. Is she like a popular stripper I've never heard of out of Houston? I don't know. Maybe she got her OnlyFans popping, y'all. I don't know. But the reason I brought that up is just to say that if you live in that big old house, I would think that you would have at least enough money for food. So that would be intentional if you were preventing them from being able to eat, if you were starving them kids. It was also believed that the children's 18-year-old brother, Jamarian Robinson, was with them, but his whereabouts are not immediately disclosed. Duncan was sentenced to serve probation for her cruelty to juvenile charge in 2013 and later fulfilled the terms by 2020. The mother served probation for cruelty to children on record. But she got to keep the kids. Did the fathers fight for custody? Did they ask for custody? Why was she not forced to give up custody of those kids so she could collect benefits off of those kids? Hashtag babies for benefits. If you ask me, for all those children, whether it's 5 children or 7 children or 8 children, however many it is, I think the only reason that she was able to get that house is off the backs of those kids that she continued to abuse. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's look at these news stories. Let's go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Somebody in the chat said, oh, wrong video. Somebody in the chat said that they believe that house could have been Section 8. I'm going to say no way. I'm going to say no way. There is no way that house could have been under Section 8. Let me make sure I got the right videos up here. I don't think I did. And I don't. So that one's not right. All right, here we go. Let's get it.
News as we begin live at 5 this evening, an urgent search for a family of 8 who were last seen in Cyprus.
Among them are 5 young boys, sparking an Amber Alert. ABC 13's Daniela Hurtado is live in Cyprus with what we know at this hour. Daniela?
Yeah, so we have few new details. I just talked to neighbors here. They say this family moved in several weeks ago. Many of them hadn't even interacted with the adults of the home. They're worried for those children. I can tell you the newest information we have. We just got these photos from Precinct 5 Constable's office. They're of the mother, the biological mother of the 5 missing children, Sakaya Duncan, that you can see on your screen, and her boyfriend, Jova Terrell. We're being told by the Precinct 5 Constable's office guys, they're in the process of being charged with injury to a child, which is a first-degree felony. They are currently on the run with 5 of her children. Now, I want to take you to the names of those children right now. Here is what law enforcement are telling us. The first child is 7, Nicholas Menina, Satan Menina, 10 years old, Javon Menina, 12 years old, Xavier Menina, 12 years old, and Jared Menina, 14 years old. There's also the brother of those children. That's all according to law enforcement. That's 18. Jamarian Robinson is apparently in this car as well, along with the biological mother. Again, her name's Sakaya Duncan, and her reported boyfriend, Jova Terrell, who's 27. Now, I do want to take you one more time to the car. This is the car that law enforcement is looking for. We're going to show you on your screen right now. It's a silver Outlander Mitsubishi license plate. If you have your phone right now, take a photo.
So from what I already understand, they've already caught him. But let's listen to this. I want y'all to listen from this neighbor. And I thought this was a very poignant interview. He speaks really well. He lives in this area. But I want y'all to hear from him. Here we go.
So what do you think?
This is definitely crazy. We had no idea that happened at all. We've been here for about a month now. The family moved in about a week ago. They had kids. My brothers went to school with one of them. Everything seemed normal. We didn't really suspect anything at all.
Is it shocking? Like, did they seem like normal family?
It seemed like a normal family. We had no suspicion whatsoever. It seemed perfectly normal until just right now getting the news. It's a big, I don't know how to explain it. It's just crazy, man. It's very crazy.
Do you remember seeing the kids or any
Yes,
interactions with them?
I believe the young boy's name is Javon or something like that. My brother goes to school with him. I think he was in 3rd or 4th grade, something like that. So me having brothers myself, I have a son as well. So it's just hard, devastating for sure. For sure.
Pretty nice neighborhood.
Yeah, nice neighborhood. So, and they're actually still constructing houses right now as we speak. So for this to happen here in this community is definitely I don't know, it's unheard of.
You got the Amber Alert on your phone.
Yeah, I got the Amber Alert on my phone. I had no idea it was for Cypress. I kind of ignored it. But now knowing it was right here across the street is definitely terrifying.
What did you see this morning? I mean,
this morning around 10, we woke up to see, we saw police cars in front of our, residence. Went outside to kind of be nosy. We didn't really think anything much of it. I thought it was maybe drugs or something of that nature. But knowing kids are missing, I hope they're okay.
yeah, is it kind of scary? I mean,
It's definitely scary. Me having a child myself, it makes me just want to hang on to them. I just hope that they're okay.
yeah. What's your name?
My name is Christian.
And your last name?
Hurd, H-U-R-D.
Now, why can't the news find people like this and do interviews like this whenever they're talking to folks? I like this. Nice neighborhood, nice looking young man, speaks very eloquent, very clear. Like, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I never really did speak that clear. I kind of spoke a little bit too much in the slang vernacular, and it just kind of became who I was. You know what I mean? And so it took me a while to try to kind of work my way out of it and speak a little more clearly. But like I said, if I could go back, I would much rather prefer to speak clearly, be understood, like this young man right here. Definitely really cool. They need to interview more normal people. I think sometimes, like, the news people be doing it for clicks and views. Like, y'all, look at this fool right here. Y'all not gonna believe what this idiot said. More interviews like this.
First name too.
K-R-I-S-J-E-N.
And how long have you lived here?
I lived here about a month and a half, now, so still fairly new.
And where were the cops and stuff today?
So we had 2 vehicles parked right here on this side, about 3 over here. We had an undercover across the street where the news person is right now. So it was about 5 or 6 cars total throughout the entire day.
Yeah, just all out here.
Yeah, all out here, yes sir, doing their work. So we had the gloves on, things of that nature. So, I hope the kids are okay though, for sure.
Thank you.
And tonight, as we come on the air, we are learning one child has been found in Louisiana following an Amber Alert we told you about earlier for 5 children issued out of Cypress 2 hours ago.
We are learning the suspects were pulled over near LSU in Baton Rouge. Matt Doherty joins us live from Cypress. What happened to the other children, Matt?
Yeah, Mia, that's what investigators are trying to figure out tonight. I want you to take a look at some of this video. This is about 5 o'clock in Baton Rouge when they were captured. Only one child, as you said, was found with them. We don't know which child that is, though. The suspects allegedly told state police they had dropped off their other children with relatives. Now police are trying to find out if that's true. We're told Zakiya Duncan and Jova Terrell will soon be facing charges for first-degree injury to a child. We have not learned the details of what allegedly happened, though. The Amber Alert that was issued this afternoon is still in effect this hour. Authorities say 5 boys ranging in age from 8 to 14 were last seen at 5:30 this morning at their Cypress home where we are right now. This evening, only one of their children was with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just got sent an email, and this is kind of sidebar, but I wanted to kind of talk about this because I did not know they were doing it like this. They have some Section 8 homes, 6 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. Shoot. For what they're charging monthly, man. Look, I had actually talked to a young lady in Miami, and shout out to that bartender that was at, it's either Playa or Playa in Miami Beach. But I was talking to that bartender. I think she's been out there maybe for like a couple of months. And she told me how much that she paid in rent and when she used to live in Boston. And I think it was closer to about $4,000 for, what, 1 or 2 bedrooms, something like that. And this is a 6 bedroom, 3.5 bath for less money than what they had in Boston. And this is in the Cypress area. There's another one, 6 beds, 2.5 baths. Are you kidding me? But you know what? Maybe I can either blame myself or give myself credit. I can either blame myself or give myself credit for this. Y'all remember how I talked about in some of these places like in Ohio, in Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, where you'll have these people who got all these kids and they live in like the crappiest places possible, right? Y'all heard me talk about this? Section 8 always looks like bullshit. Always. So maybe I can't be mad when you got something like this. Big, nice, beautiful, well-built houses. I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that because at least they're not living in squalor. That's a good thing. But damn, at the same time, I still think that that's kind of incentivizing people who are making bad decisions. Like, I think it's a bad decision when you don't have your life together, when you got to file for Section 8 and food stamps, when you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids. The last thing you need to be doing is catching a nut. Maybe catch a job. Maybe catch a responsibility, right? Maybe ejaculation shouldn't be what you do with the majority of your adult life and procreating, right? Where are these type of houses for people who got excellent credit and no kids? Where their discount at? Huh? Where's the response? Where's the incentive for people who decided, you know what, I got 2 kids, I've got enough, I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out. Maybe we can get the hookup somewhere.
Of course, this is a developing story. We're going to stay on top of it. We're going to bring you an update tonight at 10 o'clock. Lynn, Mia, back to you.
We're going to go out now to the Houston area. We're going to be joined by Fox 26 Houston reporter Matthew Seedorf with the latest on, Matthew, what is really just a stunning and crazy story, frankly. I mean, these 2 16-year-olds, they escaped from a home and they were handcuffed. But before all that, there was this huge Amber Alert there in Harris County. What more do we know?
Yeah, Andrew, this is really just a disturbing and bizarre case, frankly. Late last night, we're hearing from police that 2 teenage kids came running out of this house behind me and looking for help, eventually finding a neighbor who called police And then they said that they had been handcuffed inside the house, eventually leading to today's Amber Alert. 2 teens hospitalized in the Houston area with apparent bruises and malnourished after escaping a home allegedly.
Now, granted, you pulled up that information for me, Tanea, and I definitely appreciate that. But I'm wondering, because this looks like just as big of a house, 6 beds, 2.5 baths. God, dog. And this looks like a house that's maybe about that big. But I'm wondering if this particular neighborhood also allows Section 8. I wonder if this particular house is Section 8, because I think that will give us more of an indication as to what's really going on in this situation. So, yes, they have some big, nice houses under Section 8, but I wonder if this particular neighborhood and that house are under Section 8.
2 teens hospitalized in the Houston area with apparent bruises and malnourished after escaping a home allegedly handcuffed. Late Monday, 16-year-old twins ran out of the Cypress home off Marina Alto Lane, found someone nearby for help, and called police, telling them they had been handcuffed inside. When authorities got to the home, their mother, 40-year-old Zakiya Duncan, and her boyfriend, 27-year-old Jova Terrell, were gone, along with the twins' 5 siblings, all boys 7, 10, 12, and 14 years old, leading to an Amber Alert throughout the area.
The family moved in about a week ago. They had kids. My brothers went to school with one of them. Everything seemed normal. We didn't really suspect anything at all.
Christian Hurd recording this cell phone video Tuesday morning as police surround his neighbor's home.
It's definitely scary. Me having a child myself, it makes me just want to hang on to him, I just hope that they're okay.
Louisiana State Police finding the Mitsubishi Outlander near Baton Rouge Tuesday evening. 1 kid safe inside, 4 others okay, discovered at a relative's house. The boy's mother and her boyfriend both arrested, charged with injuring a child, a felony. So, Andrew, that couple is being extradited back to Houston and Harris County. I'm told the twins are in CPS custody tonight. Back to you.
Matthew, a couple.
Like I said, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like this woman had the 5 kids missing initially, plus 2 more. Sounds like there was 7 kids from a woman that's 40 years old. And then that means if the oldest kid is either 16 or 18, I don't remember which one they said. The 2 twins, the oldest ones that escaped, were 16, which would put the mother at 23, 24 years of age when she had them. And just kept making kids. Just round after round after round. Like, why? Why would you do that? You don't have a marriage. You don't have a husband. You don't have anybody making a commitment to you to take care of them. Why would you keep just having all these kids just because there is readily available semen around from men who would sleep with anything with a heartbeat?
Okay, so this was really a 2-state. Would you characterize it as a police pursuit as they were looking for this vehicle? They were telling residents to be on the lookout because 5 children were implicated in that Amber Alert.
In other news tonight, disturbing allegations of child abuse involving several children in Cypress.
Authorities say 16-year-old twins escaped from their home yesterday where they had been handcuffed. When deputies went to the home in Cypress to investigate, the mother and her boyfriend had fled with 5 of their children. Matt Doherty has been following this story all day, starting with the Amber Alert. He joins us now from Cypress, where those twins were said to have escaped.
As of last update, the twins are still in the hospital. Authorities say they're both malnourished and bruised. Their mother and her boyfriend was arrested late this evening in Louisiana. Late this afternoon, Louisiana State Police arrested 40-year-old Zakiya Duncan and her boyfriend, 27-year-old Jova Terrell. Their capture followed a day-long Amber Alert that started at their home in Cypress. The Harris County Precinct 5 Constable's office said when investigators showed up at the home, the couple was on the run, along with 5 of their children, all boys ranging in age from 8 to 14.
Somebody in the chat says she probably kidnapped the boyfriend too. And you know what? I wouldn't doubt that because like how do you physically handcuff 2 teenagers? I'm pretty sure they're pretty sizable at this point. She not only handcuffed 1, but both? Oof.
It's just crazy to see that it's right here in your community. It's definitely devastating.
Neighbors in the family's Cypress suburb were shocked. When the couple was eventually arrested in Baton Rouge, state police said they only had one child with them. It was later determined the others had been dropped off with family members. Duncan and Terrell are now facing first-degree injury to a child charges. This won't be the first time the mother has been arrested for alleged child abuse. Court documents from Louisiana detail a disturbing incident from 10 years ago. A then 5-year-old child of Duncan's was taken from school to a local hospital to be treated for burns to the child's feet, genitals, and other parts of its body. Doctors determined it was like burn. A 5-year-old child of Duncan's was taken from school to a local hospital to be treated for burns to the child's feet, genitals, and other parts of its body. Doctors determined it was likely the result of being burned by hot water. Louisiana detailed.
Y'all hear this? That this woman tortured her children. Tortured them. I bet you they were probably scared of her and and knew they had no other place to go. She should never be allowed to be a parent again. Neither one of these damn idiots.
Disturbing incident from 10 years ago. A then 5-year-old child of Duncan's was taken from school to a local hospital to be treated for burns to the child's feet, genitals, and other parts of its body. Doctors determined.
I can almost guarantee you that she's probably doing that to those kids because those kids remind her of her child's father who helped give birth to those kids. And she might have been doing that to hurt that man, let alone the kids.
It was likely the result of being burned by hot water.
That's why it's so shocking for me that knowing that you have these colloquialisms like my body, my choice, where you can choose who sleeps with you, who you create kids by. It's all your choice at the end of the day. If you don't want to have the kids, you don't have to have them. So you brought them into this world on your own volition, your own choice by yourself. And then you choose to hurt them like this and abuse them like this. That's not right, man. And if you guys are listening, do me a favor and click that thumbs up. If we could get one thumb up for everybody watching, it would help us greatly. Like I said, if you want to contribute, then you can. That's the easiest way to do it. Click that thumbs up if you're able to, please.
They went to Duncan's home. They found a 20-month-old infant wrapped in clothing with his hands bound. The only other person in the home was the baby's 4-year-old brother. During questioning, police say Duncan admitted she routinely disciplined one child by making the child get into a push-up position for periods of 1 hour, causing the child's hands to swell.
I know in the black community, a lot of us will look at that and say, well, what's wrong with that? Getting in a push-up position and making them do physical activities as a discipline, as a punishment. I got a very easy answer for you on that. You want to know what's wrong with it? If you as a parent cannot perform the discipline or punishment that you're making the child do, then the child should not be doing that punishment or discipline. That's easy. If you're going to go make them run laps, then your punk ass ought to be able to go run laps. If you're going to make them sit in a push-up position for hours until their hands swell, then you ought to be sitting right there next to them doing the exact same thing. If you're going to make them stand in the corner for half a day, for 24 hours, for multiple days, you ought to be able to do that your damn self. And yes, we've had stories where that's happened. If you're going to make them take a scalding hot bath, you jump in the bath yourself first. And if it's too hot for you to stay in there, then you shouldn't do it to your kids. Like, it bothers me, the fact that I know we have a lot of people that share these stories and listen to these videos and don't even understand that simple concept. If you want to know if your level of parenting is wrong, then do it to yourself. If you think it's okay to spank kids, then let your mate, your husband, or your wife spank you the same way that you spank those kids. And if you wouldn't allow somebody else to do it to you, then you shouldn't do it to the kids. Simple concepts. We're always learning here. I'm always trying to tell people to get out of these Neanderthal tactics that y'all think that discipline and beating on kids and punishing them is the way to go about raising them, and that's just not right.
The child was often forced to sleep on the floor of a closet. The door of the closet was...
Anybody who thinks raising kids that way is stupid. STUPID. All in capital letters.
blocked by boards to keep the child from, quote,
stupid with the helmet on,
escaping and, quote, stealing food from the kitchen. Police reported at the time 2 of Duncan's other children also showed signs of abuse and were removed from the home. It's unclear when Duncan and Terrell will be brought to Texas to face their current. The closet was blocked by boards to keep the child from, quote, escaping and, quote, by making the child get into a push-up position for periods of 1 hour, causing the child's hands to swell. The child was often forced to sleep on the floor of a closet. The door of the closet was blocked by boards to keep the child from, quote, escaping and, quote, stealing food from the kitchen.
Let's talk about that. I've said this before and I'll say this again. If you are a parent listening to the sound of my voice, if there is food in the house, there is no such thing as stealing food that is in a household that all of you guys live in. There might be moments where you might not want them to take certain food, access certain food. Just example, like if there is candy around, you want them to eat their dinner rather than eat candy first. Then I think this is a thing that you have to start training children from the moment that they are born and train them in the way that you want them to go. So therefore, they understand the rules. They understand what you want them to do and what you don't want them to do. And yes, you ought to trust their judgment and let them make the decisions on their own at that point. You're raising them for life, and they will make some good choices and some bad choices. And that's part of the learning process. But what you want to do is you want to encourage them to think for themselves and not do things out of fear. They ought to make the right decisions, the smart decisions, and maybe understand what could happen to their bodies when they consume too much sugar. And next thing you know, they look up and they're 35 and 45 years old and have what? Liver failure, kidney failure, diabetes, getting limbs cut off. Real life consequences for decisions that you're making as kids. And we can have these real conversations with them and let them know, here's the consequences if you don't clean up your room. It's going to smell like butt crack. Nobody's going to be around you. And next thing you're going to know, you're going to get grown and you're going to be living in squalor in your house. It's going to smell like that. Nobody want to come around. I'm not going to want to come around. You're not going to have any friends. People are going to talk about you. That's a real life lesson. You don't want to go wash the dishes? Well, how about all the nasty bugs and filthy things that'll crawl and consume your house if you don't? Real life lessons. Things that I've talked to my daughter about when her mom was struggling with her. We had these kind of conversations. Here's why you need to be doing these things for yourself. Here's why you need to take a bath. Here's why you need to brush your teeth. Want to get a bunch of root canals? Want to walk around smelling bad and people talking crazy about you? You can avoid these things by doing simple body maintenance. That don't mean you have to go beat them up or tape them to a wall or handcuff them or put locks on the cupboards and refrigerators. Right? Huh.
Police reported at the time 2 of Duncan's other children also showed signs of abuse and were removed from the home. It's unclear when Duncan and Terrell will be brought to Texas to face their current charges. It's also not certain what'll happen to the rest of the children this time.
So there is also one other thing that I wanted to bring up because I saw this as a screenshot. I didn't look at it thoroughly, but we can look at it together. See if I can find it. If not, we might skip it. I don't see it here. I thought I had a screenshot of a message, but I don't. But again, too many kids, not enough responsibility. And this mother clearly doesn't need to be a parent. She's already been in trouble before. Still doing stupid stuff. Stupid is stupid thugs. And these two thugs need life in prison, but definitely need no more access to these kids. I don't know what they were getting ready to take them to Baton Rouge for to go do. I don't know. This whole thing just sounds like a hot ass mess. And I would absolutely love to find out like what the nature of this was. What were they trying to do going between Houston and Baton Rouge? How did they obtain this house? What did they do for a living? All questions I would like to know. But I guess we'll find out here maybe later on in court. But it is what it is. Thank you guys for listening to the story. It does end on a positive note where all of these kids at least have their lives, and be thankful for that, okay? Share the story. Thank you.